Buddy, can you believe I turned off Boston for this? For this? S&P's up some 30 handles right now. By this, I didn't mean me. Well, kind of meant me, but I meant the S&Ps, which are doing basically nothing this morning. All right, welcome everybody. So here we are. It's Friday the 13th. That's awesome. I just don't even know how we're halfway through March already. Didn't I say like Happy New Year like 2 days ago? It's getting a little weird. Yeah, I know. I turned off. I Boston is it's much more important. Much more important. Let's get into it a little bit here this morning. So the SPOOs are up. There was news that was out this morning. It didn't do anything in the marketplace, which is quite surprising. Again, do you even see like where news came out? I know we only have 2 minutes to cash open, but I've been saying this day in and day out. Market right now, it's not even trading on data. It's not trading on data. It's definitely trading off a little bit of oil. Okay, there's no question. Like oil's had an impact to a certain degree, but oil's actually off by $2 today. Nobody gives a crap because they just a voice in the back of your head has to be saying you really want to go home long over this weekend. Anytime there's geopolitical risk, I mean, war specifically, geopolitical risk can get heated and so forth, but anytime there's actual war, going home long over a weekend can always be rough because a lot of crap can happen. I mean, do you really, think that oil stays down this weekend? Is there going to be another incident? It just goes on and on and on. The financials, which have had the living crap kicked out of them, have a nice bid under them this morning. There's your market. There's your market this morning. It's the financials. Because when you look around at like tech, Apple is basically flat, and Google, it's up a couple of bucks, and Microsoft is flat, and Amazon is crap, and Tesla's really, this is very, very flat open. Meta's actually off quite considerably. Meta's off by like 1%. Nvidia, mild bid, and Broadcom has a mild bid as well. I caution you, whatever you're seeing here in the pre-market, you obviously haven't seen the full brunt of what the marketplace is capable of. Today has over a $70 expected move, but we'll talk about that after the cash open. I would even throw that aside. Throw aside the $70 expected move. We could far exceed that, and the energy sector is down a little bit today. But let's come to today's cash open here. Open mind, people. Order flow. It's coming. It's coming into the tech stocks, and that is what is not moving. So as I was saying in the pre-market, you're just not getting a lot of price action out of big tech. But take a look at this out of the gate. That is full-blown correlation out of the gate. Very, very strong indication right off the bat. Positive 1100 tick. It's raging strong out there right now. The truth is though, you got to throw your hands up in the air a little bit on some of these trading sessions and just be like, all right, I got to wait for order flow. What's that going to look like? An order flow, look, it's just trades coming in. It's just trades coming in right now into some of the big tech companies. Okay. It has been kind of an indecisive overnight session. And although the marketplace is leaning a little higher, and there's no question that the financials, they're way oversold conditions in the last couple of weeks. And when you bring up expected moves, they're just cracking back inside the expected move. But I mean, it's pretty horrendous sell side activity. These things have caught like one bid all year. A year-to-date basis, you're down. Wow, that was late. On a year-to-date basis, the financials, and that is the XLF, is actually off by 10%. So you got that going for you. Yeah, I know Microsoft, right at 400. It's taunting me. It is taunting me. That's my spread right there. Not getting out of it anytime soon. It's just, it's kind of long overdue, at least from where I sit over here. So I'm taking it a little slow this morning in terms of wanting to jump in and execute. I did, I put this trade on the other day. I'll explain that as well. This is in the XLF. The XLF's just, I assume is way overdue for a rip to the upside. I'll say that again. The XLF, in my opinion, way overdue for a pretty fierce rip, maybe a rip all the way back to like 50, half. That's absolutely horrendous, in terms of downside when you don't even have to draw, like a trend line on it. You could just, holy crap, it's an absolute perfect, you know, 45-degree angle straight down. It's like a face plant. That's going to get a bid back under it. And whether that's going to be sustainable today, though, is the probably the larger of the questions. So as I look down the list of some of the usual suspects, it's a really mixed bag of goods. Just to show you, Apple kind of feels like it's dangling off of the edge of a cliff right now. This 255 level, I've been talking a lot about that. I happen to have a put butterfly in here today too. Why Apple? Oh, why not? Okay. And that put butterfly, I don't kick in for a few dollars lower, but Apple was down about $4.50 yesterday. Just take a quick glance. I think it was $4.50 yesterday. Okay. That's what in the hell? Okay. Is this thing, what is this thing trying to prove to me? So, Apple, okay, had that is not right. Think back, think back. Okay. Um, anyway, Apple, okay, has had some decent sell side activity. By the way, what I was trying to show you, I was like, that is not right. I know Apple was down like $4 yesterday. I'm showing us like down 2 cents. This is think back. Okay. It's think back. And then I'm looking at the date and I'm like, okay, yeah, the date's right. Today's the 13th. This is the 12th, but it's not even close. Like it's not getting it right. It was not down 2 cents. It was down like $4 and something. Okay. It's getting good. All right, onward. So as I was saying a moment ago, Apple kind of dangling off of a cliff, but at the exact same time, okay, you've had a little sell side activity in there. Google, okay, Google's actually been rather strong on the week, and it's sitting actually at the upper edge of its expected move, which all it's doing, okay, is kind of holding the market where it presently is. This market would have been a hell of a lot worse had Google had actually participated. And it's crazy to say that. It's like one underlying had participated in some of the downside. This would have been a rough week. Speaking of a rough week, let's cruise over immediately to show you, okay, where we are on the week. And yeah, no, unequivocally, I'm bothered by this one. Okay. So you come in here and you're looking for a $224 expected move. Now, $224 expected move on the week. Started the week, okay, basically at what? 67.40. I mean, that's where that line is, 67.40. Where are you trading right now? 67.08. $30 move in the week. Ooh, okay. It's like literally like a $30 move in the week. What gives? By the way, you noticed that this morning, and I should probably let you in on a little secret here. This morning, we'll start a little slow. And I'm going to start a little slow because in 25 minutes, there's more data. I want to see if this marketplace can even move on data. You had big data come out this morning, and it just completely, nobody cared. Nobody cared. But I have to tell you, this is just such an expansive move with nothing going on that a trading session like today makes me really nervous, like really nervous sitting here. There should be a little bit of like nervous energy in the air. You have this massive expected move. Now, okay, don't get me wrong. I have seen in the past, us basically go unchanged even on a big expected move. There's no, it happens. Okay. But the amount of energy in here, it is very, very unlikely. And when you've moved literally 30 points, okay, of a $224 anticipation of movement, leaves a whole lot of room for improvement. And the assumption right now, there isn't one. When I say there isn't one, I wouldn't say that this is a rally. 0.4% doesn't mean squat. Don't get me wrong. You got me in the financials, which I kind of anticipated. I'm trading, okay, bullish in the financials right now because I think it's overdue for a bounce. I don't know if that's going to happen though today, okay? Because in the back of my mind, I'm like, we're leaning a little bit to the downside, okay, in the S&Ps, right? So we're leaning a little bit downside from where the week started, okay? what's to stop this marketplace from selling back off and just going for it? There isn't anything. And as much as like I want to look at this and we're up like some $30, even if we do rally, we might get some opportunities as this day kind of progresses. But you should see, okay, a whole lot more price action than we are seeing. And I say that, and like people are like, well, whatever, man, the market's going to do what it's going to do. You don't understand when they're pricing a 25 VIX, okay, there's price action in the S&Ps that go with this. So if this market's going to rip, it's got to do it right freaking now. Okay. It's just like right now. Okay. Or it's going to cave in. You're basically on the clock right now. But what I mean by, when you're in a 25 VIX, and a lot of people look at VIX, and I'm not big in the VIX, but when you start looking at like a 25 VIX, it's not just like an implication of forward risk. Okay. It's much more than that. When you have a 25 VIX, okay, you should absolutely move X amount. Okay. Not necessarily every single day, but in accordance with what markets are anticipating. Otherwise, all of this risk was for nothing, and option premium sellers would get paid. It doesn't really work that way. Okay. The other thing you have to kind of recognize in here, speaking of recognize, really big tech stocks are down today. Okay. Apple's awful, just, basically flat. Microsoft's flat. And Amazon's flat. Tesla's flat and Meta's flat. Well, Meta's actually down 3%. I apologize. I was already looking at Nvidia. Nvidia's up 0.9%, but it lows the session. The powers that be over here are edgy, to say the least, this morning. Very edgy. And again, I'll call this a rally if we're up like, 50, but it's I'm more baffled how we're up almost 50 points without any of your real tech stocks participating right now. I also would like to say that kind of anticipated this morning that we would come in and see markets rip. Like I really did anticipate. I put a big boy butterfly on Broadcom looking for a rally today. Even though I recognize we're coming into a weekend and might not want to go home long, but I'm just again, okay, very standoffish with this marketplace into the cash open. Is in one of the days where, I sit on my hands and let this thing kind of materialize. Got a couple of positions on. I'm going to see if I can get one of them off right now. I think time is better spent there, because when you start looking at the S&Ps, nothing to read into right now. There's just nothing. You have the financials up, the energy sector is flat, big tech is a mixed bag of goods. The S&Ps are much stronger than the NASDAQ. Okay. Volatility is down. Dogs and cats are living together. Like you start really reading into this and you just be like, oh, whatever. Okay. It's tough. Iced coffee today. It's summer here. Okay. We went from, basically what we term winter here in Arizona to summer. So much so that I escaped and went into the mountains. Okay. Where you live amongst bears and, other large animals. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. It's beautiful up here right now too. It is by next week, okay, going to be unheard of. It's going to hit 100 degrees in Arizona next week. Some of the earliest heat, okay, on record. So I took off and went to the mountains. Tucson, okay, the hell wants to live in Tucson? I'm just kidding. Tucson. Finished high school in Tucson. That family still lives down in Tucson. Okay. Yeah. What's the news? How could you not know the news? Okay. What is this, Phil? The news that's going to drop in 20 minutes, right, is Jolts. Jolts is pretty freaking important. Like, as weird as this may sound, I think that Jolts might be more important. And you guys can correct me if you think I'm wrong. I think Jolts might be more important than GDP and PCE, which sounds ridiculous. No, it sounds ridiculous. Never been that important before. But I have a feeling that Jolts, okay, can, well, jolt this marketplace. Do you guys remember the original energy soda? Okay. When I was a kid, it was called Jolt. Anybody remember that? Okay. Parents were scared to death of it. Now you drink energy drinks like, constantly. A couple of Celsius a day here and there. Okay. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Jolt. What are you people? Okay. Um, yeah. It used to say, like, literally on the can, twice the sugar and all the caffeine. Okay. It used to say, like, yeah, it was twice the caffeine, all the sugar, or something like that, or all the sugar, twice the caffeine, something good like that. Not living amongst monkeys. Up here we have elk. I haven't seen any though since I've been here. I only got here last night though. So I try not to go out at night, get eaten by a bear. That just goes downhill. So the S&P is now climbing. Okay. Jeff Bierman's hopes and dreams dashed again. So take a look though at Meta getting hammered a little bit. And where are we at here? Okay. I mean, not a lot to display in here other than it's down, 2.5%. But I am surprised, okay, that the NASDAQ is doing as well as it is with that down. Google's offsetting some of it, but I don't see what else is offsetting the price action. I mean, Nvidia is up, okay, but it's completely like negating some of the price action of Meta, which looks like it could actually turn and rip here as well. And again, I'm frustrated. It's a very slow, very methodical kind of cash open. And it's not, again, as I said a moment ago, it's not that I didn't necessarily expect a rally. I expected a rally, but I was looking for financials. I would have expected that big tech just would have ripped today, starting to maybe in here. So keep your eyes on this because it's could be getting good. And by the way, I could really use, well, we're going to rally. Could you guys help me out? Just get Broadcom above like 345. Okay. I'm not asking that much. 345 for Broadcom. Okay. That's quite the move. $10 though. It's outside. It's expected. Okay. But I would take that one all day long. By the way, the reason I'm in Broadcom for that, just take a look. Okay. Take a look. That's its expected move. So all I was doing was trading for the idea it hit this, came down, came back. Okay. I figured it would bounce back up on a rally today. And that was my big butterfly. I don't know if it's going to pay. Okay. It doesn't look like it's going to pay. The other butterfly that I did was right here in Apple, the exact opposite in Apple. I was like, if the market sells off, okay, it's going to probably come back down. Apple maybe test the lower edge of its expected move. Neither of which is coming to fruition. And Don's getting frustrated. All right, let's get into it. I'm not going to wait anymore. Okay, I'm not waiting anymore. So I wanted to bring this to everybody's attention. Toll Brothers, son of not used to this keyboard here. I wanted to bring Toll Brothers to everybody's attention. Why do I want to bring Toll Brothers to everybody's attention? Because obviously I have the TheoTrade on. Okay, in Toll Brothers, I wanted to get out of this. Okay, for like 100% gain. And the 100% gain, I'm going to go over here to account statement for a second. The 100% gain, okay, I was actually able to close one, but I didn't have time. And I wasn't going to do this to Todd because, I like to torture Todd a little bit. It's good. It's pastime. By the way, you guys should partake in that sometime. It's, but torture Todd. It's torture Todd day. But getting a text message out in the last, and literally I filled this at 12:45. I was working an order, okay? And for those of you that are not aware, and I want to be very clear about this, okay, I'm on Pacific time. So the market closes, okay, at 1 p.m. That trade was done, okay, at 12:45 and 42 seconds. If I turn around and I send an alert, which is me taking this trade, I drop it to Todd. Todd actually shoots it out. Okay. Just going to throw this out here. It's getting a little bit older. It's getting a little bit slower. Actually, it's pretty damn fast. We did a lot of trades yesterday. We did a lot of trades. It's just the bottom line. By the time we get the alert out, we get the alert out in within a few seconds, right? We could probably have that alert by 12:48. Okay. Yes, even Todd can get it out by 12:48, but there's just no way. You got 12 minutes then to fill. It's not even fair. So I didn't send it out. Okay. But I did fill at $6, but I only filled one, knowing, okay, knowing that a lot of people weren't going to fill. So I'm going to work the $6 order again. Okay. I'm going to work a $6 order again. Work it. And I'm going to try to get out of some of the rest of my total for about 100% gain. And I'm not opposed to you trying to whack the trade. Whack it means close it. Not opposed if you want to whack it at 590 or whatever. Okay, you go for it. But I want to get out of it now. And the reason I want to get out, okay, look, I'm not, new. I can see this thing descend, and I called for 140. It hit 140. Okay, but it's gonna rip on us, and then I'm gonna have to hold it for like another 2 weeks. There's 63 days left, but 100% is pretty damn good. And create a duplicate order. Okay, and you're gonna see it's gonna say 565. Okay, you bastards. But I am trying to close the trade. I am trying to close it for $6. Okay, and I'm gonna be stubborn on this one. If I have to hold it, I hold it. It is what it is, right? No, nothing more, nothing less. Okay. So, yeah, somebody else closed it. Tcon, okay. Tcon closed it for 100%. So yeah, I'll leave that one in there and see how it goes. The S&Ps, okay. As Jeff Bierman is feverishly watching, he's edgy this morning. Okay. I can tell he's edgy. I'm with him. It's, I wouldn't say that I'm edgy. I don't trust these S&Ps at all. Okay. It feels far too quiet for the kind of price action that you should be seeing. That's like that kind of comparison that I'm doing a terrible job of explaining. Okay. The market is expecting X, okay, like amount of movement, and it's getting like next to nothing. And you're like, but it's a $50 move. Okay. It's been pretty meager this morning. It's going to take more movement, like the S&Ps. I'm just going to tell you, to convince me of a rally, it has a $79 expected move. And I'm left wanting more when you got half, a little more than that, half. Obviously, I didn't rush in here to try to short this. Okay. Even like 0 DTE right now, it's hard. Okay. What's hard about it? We didn't even hit the upper edge of the expected move. Like, you got nothing to go on. Nothing. I'm looking at, I'm going to go look at the spiders right now, but like they still have, even though we had almost an $80 expected move. Okay. They still have, over $40 packed in for an SPX move for the remainder of the day. This is, again, unusually high volatility. Oh, here, I'll go to the SPX really quick and just point this out because it's worth it. 31 vol, and then back here, they drop off a little bit. Okay. Very, very suspect marketplace. Well, we still have to wait 9 minutes to see if the Jolts data. Okay. I really hope that the Jolts data is not a complete and total dud. As I was saying a moment ago, there's two major pieces of data that are coming out. There's Jolts and consumer sentiment. Consumer sentiment is clearly the dumbest number that comes out. It's absolutely ridiculous, okay, because it's a survey. Surveys are like, they mean nothing. Yeah. What does a survey mean? I mean, they legitimately, okay, they call people, they send those like surveys, in emails and so forth. Anybody ever gotten one of those? Okay. The IRS and crap there, whoever it is, the Consensus Bureau, they send me ones. The BLS, okay, they send those to us all the time. if you own a business, you get those, and I have tons of different LLCs. Okay, everything I do is like in some type of an LLC, so I get a ton of those surveys, and they're like, you have to fill this out under penalty of like law, and I'm like, I've never filled one out. Take me away, please. Okay, take me away. Put me on an island. I'm okay with that. Right? Keep me in the mountains. Good. Anyway, it's surveys like that were just they're so ridiculous. By the way, I will own up to the fact that I definitely filled out one of those surveys. I think it was during COVID. I say I shouldn't say this, but I definitely filled one of them out. Okay. And I just put the most asinine, ridiculous like statistics in there. Okay. I was having some fun. Okay. Yeah, there you go. Survey means you're on Family Feud. I kind of agree. That's what it is. It's like Family Feud. Okay. Uh survey says that everybody's on Family Feud is well, we're just gonna let that one go a little bit. The financials are coming in a little bit here. Now, let's go explore some of our trades. And in terms of headlines today, okay, I'm just looking at the 580, I'm $6, 580, I'm $6. Okay. In terms of headlines today, there aren't any. There was GDP, PCE, and durable goods. Okay. And this is part of why I feel a little quiet today. And I do. Okay. Can you even see? And I'm not being facetious in any way. Can you even see in this tape? Like, look at the volume where PCE, okay, durable goods, and I just want to show you PCE, durable goods, and GDP all came out, okay, here. Not here, but here. That's where those numbers came out. The volume, there wasn't any contract size done. And ever pretty much since 5:30, which I was up and I saw that and I was sitting right here, okay, I keep looking at the market and go, nobody, okay, nobody driving this bus. Nobody's driving the bus. Okay. It's definitely the short bus and nobody's driving it right now. I don't know, okay, why that didn't have any impact whatsoever. Do you think servers are like, well, one kind of offset the other and the PCE kind of came in line and nobody gives a crap about GDP anymore because AI is going to save us all? Or, okay, you're just in the singularity and nothing matters anymore and everything's completely and totally unpredictable? I might have to go with that one. Nothing though. Okay. Um, sorry, I love the comment in there. You probably tear the tags off your mattress, you bastard. Okay. In California, that's punishable. It's like 3 years in prison. Oh, I forgot everybody left there. Everybody left there and moved down to Florida. Okay. What the hell? It's really funny because about 5, 6 years ago, it was like during COVID, the big thing was, okay, you can't move to Florida. It's not going to be there in a few years because the hurricanes were just going to wash it away, and everything's going to be washed away. But just going to tell you, a lot of people have moved down there. I don't know if you guys saw, but the one that really shocked me in terms of like billionaires that are moving, okay, who would you say the most shocking billionaire to make a move is recently? Okay, because this actually totally relates to the markets too. You're like, how does this relate to the market? Zuck doesn't surprise me in the least. That one didn't surprise me in the least. Okay, there you go. Howard Schultz. If you guys know anything about Howard Schultz, okay, that guy's die hard. Okay, I'm not, by the way, he's not a California. Schultz surprises me. Now, Zuck doesn't surprise me at all. Zuck started like, he was sitting. I watched a UFC fight this past weekend. It's on whatever. It's on like regular TV, Paramount Plus. He was like sitting like front row. Okay. You start going to like UFC fights, like then that's it. You'll move to Miami. You don't give a crap. That says a lot. But Howard Schultz, totally shocked on that one. Okay. Guy moved out of Seattle because they're discussing the billionaires tax. He's like gone, like overnight, gone, flew the coop. That one really, really shocked me, more so than any of them. And Starbucks is, where's it going to be run from now? That's a good question. Look at this. VVIX still, okay, 125 range. But by the way, Howard Schultz hasn't been involved heavily in Starbucks now in some time. They actually found like a real CEO. Onward. Okay. I'm just reading back over here. Yeah, I don't know if that was if that news is real or not. Did Starbucks officially announce? Okay. I didn't look. Did Starbucks officially announce they're moving to Tennessee? Because I had heard that. Okay, there it is. That's actually the headline. It's kind of ironic. Um, yeah, they're all moving. I don't know if they were really moving to Tennessee or not. Okay. Um, I'm just spending a minute over here taking a look. That would be huge. I also thought like In-N-Out Burger moving was huge. Okay. S&Ps, okay, have actually pulled back just a little bit in the morning. This is a frustrating day right now. We're stuck in the middle with you. You can take shots in here, but I'm just going to give you the lowdown. If you got bullish right now and you think we're going to rally, that's fine, but your risk reward sucks. I'm going to say it again. If you got bullish right now, if I got bullish, I can get bullish. The S&Ps, they could rally, but the risk reward isn't there. When I say the risk reward isn't there, if you actually cruise over here into the option chain, you have to pay $2 for an at the money in the spiders. Okay, $2. Are you out of your mind? So if the S&Ps rally by 20 points, it takes them up 65 handles. Okay, you're not even going to break even at that point. Okay, the alarm, that's my alarm. Okay, data alarm. You're not even going to break even at that point. You got to move 40 points just to make this worth your while. And that's basically above the expected move. The risk reward in here sucks at being bullish. Even like the spreads, excuse me, are not pricing well. This is a $4 wide spread for like $1.50. It sucks. Pricing in there sucks right now. Maybe it has to do with the announcements coming out, but relax. Let's see if this actually moves markets. Okay. Again, I'm as curious as you are, but I have this burning feeling that the jolts may mean more than a lot of the data out there because jobs lately, it's really freaked everybody out. Check this out too. There's no volume in the S&Ps. It contracted the volume. Everybody's pulling back right now before the announcement. We'll see. Could turn into a big nothing burger. The big nothing burger. Is it out? Okay. Did it move? Okay. Nothing. Still nothing. Well, we'll wait. We'll see. Okay. Kind of a delayed reaction in here. And if you're really, really curious, you can actually look at the exact data. This just doesn't really do it for me. Like looking at the data. I mean, it's consumer sentiment, sentiment reports and so forth. Okay. It just, here's your JOLTS number. Okay. Well, your JOLTS number is actually up quite a bit. It's interesting. Okay. Job quits. All right. Lots of people want to move to another job. Well, there is one thing for certain. That, ironically, that was actually about the same size move we saw this morning on the other data. Okay. Wow, what a disappointment. Okay. What a disappointment. We'll see if it actually shifts order flow around. All right, let me go back into a couple of trades that we've got on. Crypto. Let's talk about crypto for a second. I'm actually going to pull up iBit. And the reason I'm going to pull this up, interesting. Okay. The reason I want to really pull this up, we might have the makings, okay, of decent trade in here. We see this major breakdown, okay, breach of expected move, breach of expected move. That's actually a breach of expected move, hitting the lower edge and bouncing, okay. It mellowed out for a couple weeks, upside. Big question for you here. Is this on solid footing or is this going to be a fade? Meaning that, is this going to be, okay, hey, Toll Brothers filled. All right, send it. Todd! Okay. So, crap, how many of these things did I do? I don't know how many I did, but it seems like a lot. Oh, I still have one working. That's weird. Huh. Hang with me here. Sad! Filled one of them. Come on. Go! Well, so I'll give you something interesting. We're sitting here and we're talking about the jobs number and the JOLTS report and looking at it and evidently it shifted order flow. Okay. I don't know if we're home yet, but how weird. It was like nothing at that minute, 2 minutes later. Okay. You're starting to shift order flow. It just, it changed order flow. And that's, a big portion. Okay. Oh, that's a big portion of understanding markets where a seemingly like, benign announcement comes out. Next thing you know, okay, that's one of the biggest candles that we've actually seen today. Interesting. Okay. 13, 14 point move in the S&Ps, okay, in a matter of a few seconds, but we just shifted order flow. And where I really saw it, it's right here in the financials. Okay. It actually, the S&Ps didn't catch my attention. The financials did in the last 2 minutes of trade. So we are shifting some order flow. We're going to get out of all the toll. Okay. Exit stage left. If you got it, whack it. That basically means get out of your toll. Okay. Get out of your toll. I'm still working two of them, but I'll fill these. Okay. I would have filled them and we will get out. Anybody else get out? Okay. I know. Come on, Microsoft. Okay. Microsoft is just sputtering. We're getting tortured by this thing. Anyway, as I was saying, I wanted to come back to crypto because a big portion of me thinks there might be a decent short inside of crypto. The question I was asking you guys when I was so rudely interrupted by my own fills, is that a base of support? And I think it's just like kind of noise in there. I'm just not bullish in here still. Not really bullish in the S&Ps either. I'm also like, I don't want to say that I'm categorically bearish in the S&Ps. I just think that you have to read things very differently. That I don't, in a time like this, I don't really like the terms bullish or bearish. Okay. We're in volatility right now. And when you're in volatility, okay, there's no bulls, no bears. Okay, volatility often does descend lower. Um, Clearly, there's geopolitical risk hasn't necessarily abated as of yet. Uh, and I think this could be opportunistic in iBit. What's opportunistic? Just taking a short position. It doesn't, this doesn't have to be hugely bearish. Okay. This would have to be some type of a pullback. And it depends on the type of trade that I do. If you want to be bigger and more bold in terms of your bearishness, if you want to be bigger and more bold in terms of bearishness, you do a slightly out of the money spread. If you just think that, we're going to just pull back in noise is like this kind of crap, that's in out spread and you get to kind of decide. So I can go out like some 35 days and I can start to build a trade and I start to build like one strike in the money. I always start with like an in out spread. Like, look, this spread is already $1.33 in the money and it's only trading for $1. But you can even get away with doing a cheaper spread. Okay, it's not necessarily better, but a cheaper spread. This one's only about what 30 cents in the money. Okay, this is just a quintessential in-out spread, 35 days out. Okay, maybe that's a little far out in time, the April 17th expiration, but this one, okay, it looks to be pretty good. There we go. See, we're filling. Okay, we are filling. I got one left. Cancel replace. Come right back in at $6. Right, we're out. Okay, we're the contest. All the Toll Brothers is now filled. So we're officially over and out in Toll Brothers. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. I'll talk about ExxonMobil in a moment. So back to iBit. I'm not sure if I'm too early in here though. Okay. I just have a pretty good feel for some of the tech stocks. Crypto, like this one's more a little bit about the fact that it did, in fact, it's so choppy in here, it's ridiculous, but did in fact hit the upper edge of the expected move, cracked it last week and then came back to it, cracked it again. That technically fits my criteria for a bearish in-out spread. Okay. So what's the hang up? Well, I don't know. I'm a little nervous. Okay. I'm a little nervous in there, nervous in the whole marketplace. All I'm trying to do right now is pick off, and I term it picking off low hanging fruit. Okay. iBit is up almost 5% today. Okay. What for? And I'm not trying to be facetious. Like, what for? Oh man, you don't understand. Crypto's coming back, Don. Maybe. Okay. And maybe I back away from this trade for a couple of days, but there's another way to actually trade this. If I'm bearish, okay, and I'm not necessarily sure, maybe it comes all the way back up to 45. Okay. I could go really far out in time and do slightly out of the money spread. Son of a. Make this one a little bit bigger. Look at that. That's a $4 wide spread. $4 wide spread for a buck. Only has a 25% chance, but okay, you come down here to 30, 35, 36, okay, you're golden. If it actually is to breach to new lows, this would be a really profitable strategy. Maybe I take the money from Toll and put it into here, into iBit. Okay, I'm not opposed to this either. In fact, I think I kind of like this one because these markets, remind you, I just don't feel like they've sold off. Okay, and crypto might accentuate any of that move. I just want to look and see what a $3 spread costs. Well, $3 wide spread's 89 cents. You get an extra 20 cents for an extra buck wide. Okay. It's a half dozen this way, half dozen the other way. Apologize for a second. I want to look at its implied vol. So what I'm looking at and bringing up here, I'm looking at the option I'm buying versus the option I'm selling, an implied volatility skew. It might actually pay to do a $3 wide spread. This trade has actually got a much higher probability associated with it, where I'm actually trading just out of the money. Kind of curious if I can even fill this though. There should be heavy volume and open interest though in here. There is. There's plenty of volume, plenty of open interest. Just so you guys see, this thing trades. It's 200,000 contracts have traded today. So I'm not going at this one alone. So if you pay, let me ask you something. If you pay $1 for something that'll be worth $3, okay, what's the probability in here? Anybody? Okay. What's the embedded probability in this trade? No, I can fill that one. Okay. And I am going 63 days out. Okay. I'm going to give myself plenty of time. So as I said to you, I'm going to price it. I reserve the right to change my mind as to how I'm actually going to trade it. In-out spread didn't look good. It's about a 33% chance of success in here. Okay. So, you have to not trade this like you would an in-out spread. Not trade it like an in-out spread because it's not an in-out spread. It's got a much lower probability associated with it. We're going to send that one out too. We're going to put and label it that as a lower probability trade. So this is 3T dub. But I have no idea how many trades I've sent out this week. I literally have like no feel whatsoever. Okay. I have traded a lot this week, a couple of different accounts, a lot. I'm in a few different accounts, but when I feel like I've been trading, nonstop this week. Well, this account's 34 fills. I know I did a bunch over in Tasty too. For me, okay, I'm not like the proponent of you got to do 150 trades a day. Who do I sound like? Stuff. I got to do 150 trades a day. I don't own a brokerage firm. I don't need you to do 150 trades a day. That is pretty good because all of these pretty much have been sent out to some way, okay, in some way, shape, or form. Who's starting with politics in here? Sorry, I just read that. Okay, who's starting in here? Uh, I'll get rid of it. Okay, it's okay. Mark can't help himself. What was the trade? It was the trade, man. You missed it. Okay. What were you doing that you could not pay attention? I'm just messing with you. We're sending the trade out, but I'll actually gladly I'll put this into chat. Apologize for not doing so. Okay. I was taking shots at Mark for a second inside of the chat. I totally forgot to even post it in there. This freaking watch will not stop. It will not stop doing stuff. Okay. It's vibrating on my arm and it's telling me all kinds of things. It's freaking me out. All right. Furball. Hmm. Uh, Andy said, "Did I hallucinate you buying calls in Starbucks yesterday?" Yeah, you did. I did not buy calls in Starbucks. Okay. What I did do though yesterday is I was looking at it as it was squeezing higher. It pulled back. Okay. I did not do the trade. And when I was considering it, it was like right in here would have popped. That was going to be an in and out. I literally said, I will not do that while I'm live because there's just no way that you guys are going to be able to follow the trade. And what I meant by that, okay, is exactly how it sounds. It sounds bad, but it's a really fast trade. When you are just hopping on board, you're like, I'm hopping on the gamma. I'm hopping on the gamma train. uh, I probably would have seen this turn coming, okay, as the order flow just dried up. But I'm glad I didn't. There's times where and by the way, the order flow in here is so thin. Okay, we've only done 4,000 contracts now in Starbucks. That would have been tough to get back out. I did not do the trade though. I just saw the opportunity. I did, in fact, do a trade where Furball, I just bought some I bought a couple calls in XLF. I just bought the 50 calls in XLF, and my trade sucks in here. It's down like half, okay, but kind of like the project, right? I just bought a couple calls in here, and it really looked like these things were going to rip. But I'm just going to be very forthright in saying I bought the calls, they're kind of a hedge. Okay, they're kind of a hedge. I'll do bullish positions intraday, kind of just as a hedge. That one isn't even intraday, too. It was 9 days out when I bought those calls. And I have to tell you, okay, that is not a bullish sign for markets right now. If there's one thing on here, okay, there's some big boy weight leaning on this. It's the financials that have started to slip a little bit, but nothing is going for it. Like there's not heavy sell side activity. I'm telling you, this entire morning, son of a stupid watches. Okay, I don't know where my phone is. I don't know where my phone is. Can I go on silent mode here? Silent mode. I must be silenced. Much better. Okay, I went back to silent mode. If you can't tell this morning, okay, I'm coming in really uneasy about everything. Like I'm like literally trying to keep my hands off, trying to close a couple positions. I opened up the crypto position. I was shopping this morning for ideas and I put a note in here, crypto climbing. Okay. I'm not convinced that crypto is going to be the answer. And it's specifically, this is Bitcoin that we traded. We traded the ETF for Bitcoin, but I'm not convinced that Bitcoin is on real footing here. But I'm pretty baffled also. Like there's a lot of things that are baffling in this marketplace, but I'm really kind of taken back. Like, why is somebody all of a sudden, why are they buying crypto here? Okay, flattened out. Okay. And this is where any market technician is going to come in and like it formed a base of support. Yeah, well, I saw that right there and it came right back down. Okay. it's a triangle. And then it came right here. And it's I have no idea where it's going. But I'll take that shot. And if crypto does, it looks like it's going to break up right now, right? If it comes up, maybe 75,000 comes right back off of it. It's why I'm uneasy about the position, okay? But it's why I just did a 63-day trade. And the reason I'm uneasy about the crypto position is because the S&Ps, they look ugly here. That's ugly, okay? This slope looks like it's actually picking up speed. It's not very linear, I'll tell you that. Kind of looks like it's picking up some speed in here. But we are very close right here, right now. And okay, big picture for a second. If we close just a few points lower, we're at the closing lows. Closing lows since when? Well, since basically November. Okay. Get a little wild, get a little freaky today, go for the lower edge of the expected move. What the hell? Then you're closing lows to all the way back here. I will remind each and every one of you, okay, I still have a butterfly down here. Okay. 65. I do. I have a butterfly down there. You're like, why? Okay. It's going to expire worthless. You're right. It probably is going to expire worthless. But if it doesn't, okay, I'm going to be somebody. I like it. um, yeah, the Bitcoin buying, it's never going to be one individual. It's not going to be one individual or one company or one moron that thinks he can actually like corner Bitcoin. I'm not a fan of Michael Saylor. Not a fan at all. When I've watched him be interviewed time and time again, okay, and I'm telling you, before I even really knew what micro was called MicroStrategy back then, okay, I remember thinking to myself, looking at him, I'm like, the hell is he talking about? I'm like, this guy's like a sociopath. And I remember thinking that before ever really like tuning into what the man was even saying. So body language, it's all wrong. It's all wrong. I just, he would say anything. I mean, wouldn't you? You have a position, one of the biggest positions in Bitcoin, okay? Uh, the biggest position basically in Bitcoin as but he's not as an individual, as a company has, this massive position over here. What do you think he's going to say? You think he's going to give you like straight talk? Okay. Yeah, sometimes it goes down and sometimes it goes up, but mostly it's going to go up because it has to, because the world's coming to an end. And I don't know. Okay. The one thing that I do know is that, how many times I heard that man say that, okay, it's the new gold. I'm like, no, I think gold is still gold. Gold still looks like gold. Gold looks a lot better than Bitcoin does because, well, it's gold. You know what? Also, that's really weird about gold. It's real. Oh, I just wanted to throw that out there. I apologize. It's okay. I love the people that always argue in Bitcoin. I love the Bitcoin people. They're like, it's real. I'm like, no, it's not really real. It's like it's kind of math. You can put it on a hard drive. Okay. Uh, it's digital. It's digital gold. Okay. I just it's getting me right now. Don't get me going. The cool thing is though, is if you're on the run, you can put a hard drive in your pocket and just take off. You can't exactly do that with gold. Gold kind of has a little bit of extra weight. Okay. Even like a gold coin, if you've ever held gold coins, they're like those suckers are heavy. Okay. You're not carrying those anywhere. So you carry a hard drive. But a ledger in Bitcoin, everybody can see it. I've looked at it. The ledger in Bitcoin, where do you think you're going with all that money? Okay? They're gonna find you immediately. Yeah. I just I'm not missing any story. I know the story. Okay. You know what? I heard a story once. Okay. I don't buy into it. I just don't. Everybody has a reason for price action in there. But if you don't like it, don't take the trade. But I'll tell you right now, okay, if the S&Ps sell off, crypto's going with it. That's it. Crypto's going with it. And by the rally right now inside of Bitcoin, I I'll tell you, it's got a lot further to fall. So it could be opportunistic. We'll see how it plays out. Um, okay. Bitcoin is real. Bitcoin is real. How much power have they wasted on that crap? Okay. I'm not like anti the idea of crypto. Okay? I will say in the past, I have definitely bought and sold, okay, uh, a lot over right when it was like first coming out. We were actually trading it, and I say we. I was still at TD Ameritrade, and you think in some of these brokerage houses that it's a bunch of you know whatever yahoos that never trade and so forth. When TD Ameritrade bought Thinkorswim, okay, pretty good marriage in that one because we explored every product that ever really came out. And Bitcoin, our biggest like deterrent at that point, and we're talking early, early stuff. Like by 2014, okay, we were peer-to-peer network. The biggest detractor for us in the crypto markets back then, okay, the reason that we didn't think it was going to take off, okay, and it didn't then for years, it was way too slow. All of us that were traders said the same thing. They said, we will never trade a product that was taking that long to execute when you could execute here, on any major global trading application instantaneously. And that was kind of the final report and it just, I left after that. I mean, I left TD Ameritrade in like 2015, but we were trading it a lot, very, very early on. Okay. Dollars and stuff. Of course, everybody's like, oh man, you could have held it. Like, please. I owned Google from its IPO and sold it when it doubled. I could have been somebody. I would have sold that thing like 10 times over. It's a pile of crap. Okay. Pile of crap. I was just talking to my son last night about Nvidia. And we're talking about the fact he's like, how come you didn't buy it? I'm like, I did. Okay. I owned Nvidia for a good period of time. I owned Nvidia at one point. I was long Nvidia at one point during the crypto boom. Okay. During the crypto boom. And I'm like, that thing is going to bust. And it did. Okay. And it absolutely did. And then kind of came apart. And then all of a sudden this AI thing came and I'm like, I don't know about that one. I did not participate. In fact, I ended up short and got beaten up in there. Speaking of Nvidia, I have this also in my notes to talk about. You have to recognize, right? Markets right now, some sell side activity. Okay. I just mean in general, because we are trading at, 6,700. Nvidia has not participated in any sell side activity whatsoever. Broadcom. Okay. Broadcom might be the one that's like the most, just steadfast. It's not participating in any of the sell side activity. Okay. So again, I come back to this notion, and by the way, Google, similar chart, peak, the valley, whatever, okay, hasn't participated in any sell side activity. I just showed you three, okay, of like the titans of tech over here. Even Tesla, you could argue, I mean, Tesla on a year-to-date basis, oh, it's down, no, but Tesla, okay, it hasn't really participated in any sell side activity. There's like four of the major products over here. Meta, okay, Meta got hit, but that was a while ago. In the most recent sell side activity, it's down, but it's not out. All I'm saying is like three or four, okay, of the biggest market caps have not really participated in any sell side activity. Yet here we are. And, cause for concern right now? What's the cause for concern? Cause for concern is the S&Ps are kind of dangling off the edge of a cliff. And some of the biggest tech stocks haven't really participated. So you start to believe, okay, maybe Nvidia, maybe it is, okay, just impervious to anything out there. It's plausible, okay, I could see that, but it's unlikely, very unlikely. Okay, we got through Jolts, we lived, we cried, we laughed, okay. Jolts absolutely shifted to order flow, there's no question about it, okay. I have to be honest with you, I didn't see that one coming because the volume was not all that extreme when order flow shifted, but it's very evident that announcement, and again, it's not about what Jolt said. It's not about what consumer sentiment said. It's about the fact that it was capable of shifting the order flow. Trades, Microsoft, toll, okay, we're officially out of toll. ExxonMobil today is going to expire worthless, okay, for updating over here. I did not want to, just, forget this one. It's right on the dance floor earlier this week. We got screwed. I got geopolitically screwed out of this one. It's going to expire worthless. Just let it expire worthless. There's nothing you have to do. Okay. ExxonMobil, okay, right towards the top of the range. Earlier this week was a lower edge of the range. I could have been somebody. I ended up as nobody. Meanwhile, that's, by the way, I want to be very clear about this. ExxonMobil was an in-out spread. Toll was an out of the money spread. So two very, very different styles of trade. One's taking a much bigger shot, and Toll Brothers took that shot. Microsoft is kind of taking that shot. I am still in Microsoft, and I'm going to tell you right now, okay, if you haven't noticed, so ExxonMobil is going to be kind of off the board too. What am I left with? Microsoft. Okay. And now I just put on iBit. Okay. iBit, though, is an out of the money spread. Okay. That's just kind of replacing the toll trade. What I'm getting at here is people, I'm fairly low on inventory. And from my point of view, when I'm low on inventory, it's a really good thing, because to be this low on inventory just means I closed a lot of trades and closed a lot of trades profitably. And that's where we're at right now. Jeff Bierman is going to be up here in just about 2 minutes. Jeff, I can just tell by the tone of your chats to me this morning, you're massively bearish, possibly.
No,
Yes.
I'm actually not massively bearish. I'm moderately bearish. I do think we're going to bounce off of 66.50. I do think there'll be a tradable rip your face off rally, like you're saying. I think it'll be led by the financials, not the tech stocks. And then the next leg down will take us to 6,200. I'm with you,
Wait, what?
Don. Microsoft, I think, is along here. I think it's washed. I call it washed.
Sorry, I'm just looking at this. Sorry, I'm just reading the Bitcoin
And
again
by the
over
way, I
there.
told you, as soon as I saw the market break 40, I just kept adding to more short trades yesterday, which I broke even yesterday. I'll take that type of day because it's like I'm predominantly long. When I see markets melting on slow, orderly, orderly sell-offs, that's not good. You want a violent sell-off. You want accelerated high velocity selling, which puts a nail in the coffin. We did not get that yesterday. So I still am moderately bearish.
Moderately bearish with a
I
side
think we'll
order.
have an inside day today. We'll have like an inside day. We're kind of roping some people. It's over when it's not over.
How do you have an inside day when you have an $80 expected move? Hold on. And we haven't moved at all in the week. Nothing. I mean, this week feels like it's been forever. We haven't moved at all in the week. I have a problem saying inside day. And you know what? I tend to agree with you, but the only thing, I have a problem with it because you got to move. And for a rally to happen here, like a rally,
Yeah.
so why wouldn't we rally? It almost takes us right back to where we started the week, which is really weird. It's really weird at that point. We rally back up and, you rally like 30, 40 points. If we rally, we got to rally like 150. You got to take this thing right back to 6,800 if we're going to rally. You got to rally 100 points from here to even make it considerable. Otherwise, okay, you got to fall flat on your face. I don't see it. I don't see it this week. It's unusual to say the least. Yeah, so I'm going to continue to trade around the peripheral of the S&Ps. That is, I'm not taking a lot of positions specifically in the S&Ps themselves. All I'm basically doing is what I term low-hanging fruit. I don't necessarily think crypto is low-hanging fruit. That's a out of the money spread. I'm going to shop, okay, a few more. I'm going to shop a few more in-out spreads throughout the course of the day. But we've done really well in there. I've taken a lot of stuff off, though, for 30% and just kind of moved on. But I'll shop a few more. I'm also kind of curious as to, a few of the underlyings in here. By the way, yeah, I don't buy into the crap with the capital raises and so forth. I read the articles earlier in the week with crypto and some of the capital raises. In all seriousness, guys, you have to stop reading into that. You do a capital raise like that, okay? There are strings attached to every time you actually raise capital. Doesn't necessarily give you free reign to execute into it. But yeah, no, I definitely read that. Jeff, I got to actually hand it over to you. What are you covering today?
Doing a Genesis cog spotting. Just going to show a couple of positions we're in that are actually doing rather well in a crappy market.
Even in the crappy market, the volatility, it's helping me huge.
Oh, yeah.
It's like everything you touch pretty much turns to gold because the volatility is, you're wrong one day, right the next. It's beautiful. It is all yours, sir. Have at it. Again, If we rally today, it needs to be a rip and rally, like 130 points to the upside, and we're just not there, and I'm bothered by it. So again, it's trading session that sit tight, kind of let it evolve.
Right.
You're through the first hour, but the truth be told, you clearly haven't seen the larger effective and the capacity of movement today. Jeff, all yours.
All right. See you later, Don. All right. Let me kick this off by saying good morning and welcome to the second hour.